I love Tropic Thunder. This 2008 comedy directed by Ben Stiller is still one of the funniest films I've ever seen. It seems to have come out at the perfect time because of where the state of the film industry was at the time and what movie audiences had become accustomed to. Every now and then, I'll see articles about how it wouldn't be able to work in today's political climate, or how Robert Downey Jr. was able to do blackface in an inoffensive way. I do think that it would be harder to make Tropic Thunder today, but not solely because of the audience reaction, but because it was making fun of Hollywood themselves. Hollywood has a history of whitewashing characters, and that is what this aspect of the film is critiquing. Now, they have overcorrected and pandered to make everything as diverse as possible, instead of creating interesting stories and characters. So, I really can't see them greenlighting a movie of this budget and cast that would be satirizing them so blatantly. The way the potentially offensive material comes across is similar to Michael Scott's character in The Office. You don't only laugh at the inappropriate and ignorant things Michael says and does, but you laugh at the reaction to it. You laugh because it's so blatantly stupid for him to behave the way he does, and you relate to the character's responses to him.
The only thing I am worried about is getting a boner. Good work today, everybody.
And in Tropic Thunder, it's done with enough goodwill and genuine talent that the audience can recognize that, and they're all in. Al Pacino's character occasionally acts as a stand-in for the viewer, as someone who points out how ridiculous it is for him to go this far into the character.
I just got caught up in
being a dumbass?
I guess so.
Why you still doing this chicken jaw shit? I have no idea.
Neither do I.
It's beyond me.
It's beyond me.
You confused.
I am a little confused.
I know.
There's also a line of separation by the fact that Robert Downey Jr. isn't portraying a black guy in the movie. He's portraying an actor who is doing blackface. So it's more original and fun for the audience, not genuinely offensive.
I know who I am. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Sure, you can think of the character as doing something offensive, but you don't blame Downey for it. Another big aspect of this character was to make fun of actors that would do anything to win awards and recognition from the Academy. As someone who loves movies and takes them very seriously, this subject can bring up ethical dilemmas. I want films that actors put extreme amounts of effort and commitment into making, but I don't want them to completely sacrifice their well-being for just a movie. If we had known that Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker would have ended in his death, how many of us would say that that performance that he gave was worth it? And you also hear stories about actors like Christian Bale losing a ridiculous amount of weight for a role and endangering their long-term health. And don't even get me started on stunt performers. I mean, look at Jackie Chan literally putting his life on the line for our entertainment. And that's not even just in the old school Hong Kong era of film, but stunt performers now still go the extra mile and put their bodies through hell. So at some point you have to wonder if these outrageous efforts are worth it, and if the audience keeps applauding more and more extreme behaviors to create film, are we to blame when things go too far?
He's just made for the movies, isn't he? They found him in a forest in Oregon. He will do anything for cash. More! Eat another rat!
Back to Tropic Thunder. The other big thing about this movie that I think would be even more of an issue now that I don't see discussed as much is the lack of women in the film. There's not a single female lead that's casted in this movie, no love interest for the main character to pursue, not even a generic hot girl to ogle at during the film, aside from Rick Peck randomly flipping through a titty book for a few seconds. Even the ladies twerking in the opening play into Al Pacino's overall character arc. Sure, Jay Baruchel's character or Danny McBride probably could have been gender swapped and not changed things a whole lot, but the story just wasn't written that way, so there was no need to force a change in. Each character has a story arc relating to a lack of self-identification that really enhances each of them and makes them feel more complete than in a lot of other movies with this size of cast. Al Pacino is compared to the real Al Pacino and tries to take that name as his own. He's trying to piggyback off the success of others by stealing their name and being unoriginal. Similar to how a big portion of Hollywood has to rely on previously established IP and lacks the creativity and ingenuity to come up with new, smart ideas. Around the campfire, Al Pacino finally opens up about having stronger feelings for someone outside of his fake, alpha male rapper persona. Once he lets it slip that it's another man, it confirms that he's overcompensating with his flashy lifestyle and doesn't feel like he can be who he truly is. Thanks to his experience making the movie, by the end, he is able to show his true feelings with Lance. Tug Speedman was once a blockbuster movie star that would rack in the money and get sequel after sequel. Then he tried to break into dramas with Simple Jack, and everybody hated it. Of course this is played for laughs, but in real life, it's tough to see someone genuinely try hard at something and give it their all, and then in the end, having the work just not be that compelling. Once Speedman gets captured and is forced to play his character over and over, he gets Stockholm Syndrome. He would rather be imprisoned and perform for people who actually love his performance than return to Hollywood where he is a joke. He eventually snaps out of it and has a moment of genuine emotion without having to try as hard as he did with Simple Jack. Kirk Lazarus is by far the best actor out of the group, and he feels like he always has to submerge himself into his characters to bring them to life. He is a master at becoming someone else because...
I think I might be nobody.
Here, he is finally breaking character because he realizes he doesn't have to live in someone else's skin 24/7 to be a great actor. Jeff Portnoy does the Fatties franchise and also wants to be more appreciated as an actor. His drug addiction is his way of coping with being the fat, funny fart guy that people see him as.
Doesn't matter what I do. I'll always be a screw-up. No one will ever respect me.
There's not exactly a big moment of recognition that he has, but he just finally accepts it and he's okay with who he is. If you wanted to grasp for extra symbolism, you could say that this moment when he farts and causes the soldiers to laugh is his farts being useful for saving their lives and not just for laughs, but that seems like a bit of a reach. Sandusky is also having an identity crisis, but not because he doesn't know who he is, but because nobody around him can even remember his name.
How you doing, Jeff? Who are you?
Dadgummit, Blam Tucky, I ain't reprogramming a VCR.
Gonna count, Kyle. How's Kevin? Good.
Tell him, McCluskey. Tell him what time it is.
He is surrounded by people who are all so wrapped up in the production and industry side of filmmaking that they lost sight of why they even wanted to join it in the first place. Like here when Sandusky is trying to pee, Kirk comes up to him and tells him that if he can get the map, then he can get him a role in a high-class picture. Then Speedman comes over to him and tries to bribe him with being slimed at the Nickelodeon Teen Choice Awards. The only way they can see helping others is by using their contacts in the film industry, not through genuine human connection. The writers dedicate enough time to flesh out these characters, so there's some real payoff towards the end of the movie, and they are all there for a reason. Stepping away from the characters that have story arcs, then you have Les Grossman, which is Tom Cruise literally embodying and becoming someone else entirely. The makeup making him have those huge meaty hands and all the facial prosthetics transform and free him to behave so erratically. He represents the corrupt side of Hollywood that cold-heartedly will do whatever they want for money and power.
Let me get this straight. You want me to let my client of 15 years, one of my best friends, die in the jungle alone for some money and a G5?
Yes.
Audiences love critiques of greedy corporate businesses like this, so it's fun to see him be so open about how immoral he is. His mannerisms and dialogue are some of the funniest moments in the entire film.
From now on, my fist is gonna be so far up your shithole that every time you have a thought, it's gonna have to tiptoe past my wedding ring.
The opening sequence also illustrates satirical comedy perfectly. The stereotypes shown in these trailers are over the top to be funny, but they honestly aren't that far away from reality. Down to the music and the editing style of the trailer, they really look like some of the generic nonsense that Hollywood spews out. I think for parodies to work, they have to be hyperbolic and clever enough for people to see that they are clearly making fun of something and doing it in a new and exciting way. Comedy doesn't work when people are trying so hard to just make the audience laugh that they don't spend the time crafting a clever and humorous story. All of this to say, Tropic Thunder is a really special film with hilarious humor, well-written characters, and an energy that no other film has. Nobody involved should apologize or be ashamed of it. On the contrary, they should all be extremely proud.
Why are you still in character?
I know, but I don't have to tell you.
You don't know.
Man, I don't drop character till I done a DVD commentary.